eating. But before we got too crazy tonight, I know that's bound to happen with this crew. I wanted to say a few words. I know this isn't a traditional rehearsal dinner, but as we all know here, not much about this is traditional, right? But if it were a traditional rehearsal dinner, you know, the father of the groom would stand up and say his piece. We lost our father 2.5 years ago. And for those of you, probably everyone here does know this, I inherited many things from my father. A bad eye, a bad ear, nice kids, and the gift of gab. So, and I asked my mom if she wanted to say something tonight. She said no. So, for all practical purposes, I'm pinch hitting for the old man who I know is watching down on this. I've been thinking a lot, and I'm probably going to get emotional. Go back and but that's another thing I hear from my father. So, I've been thinking a lot about what I want to say tonight. And it's funny, the last 2 nights, I know you'll all be surprised at this, but I was in various bars the last 2 nights. And
you're welcome.
Both nights, I ended up having conversations with the bartender about, you know, what I was in town for, and it inevitably goes through the whole story, which again, you know. And both nights, both bartenders were overcome with emotion as I was telling the story of Steve and Gale. And last night, it just took me into a concert that was sold out with 2 other people also. So, but as I was telling the story to both of these people who did not know the story, you know, I realized I think it was something even I was taking for advantage, that, you know, how special this is, what we've got here, and what we'll be celebrating this weekend. And of all the things that people would say and describe about everything that's happened, fate, destiny, all those sorts of things, whether you believe in that or not, I think one thing that's probably the most important thing about this is whether it was fate or destiny. Whether we got 2 people also that could have very easily shut it down and focused on other things, and you know, taken very different paths for the rest of their lives than what they're deciding to do now. And I think that's very special, that they were able to find each other. So this next part is gonna have a little bit of audience participation. What I would like you to do is put your arm around the person to your left. And since we're all in a circle, maybe the Callahans can get in on this as well. Okay. Your sister again?
I don't get it.
Well, for Kevin,
at some point we get some great space over here. At some point we get to drink.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll end this little speech with 2 things I want to say. There's a famous line or saying that says, "You stand on the shoulders of those that went before you," and I think that's very true.
You stand on giants.
You, Jay. Where is my brother coming from?
Yeah, and if you're ever going to go to open mic night, make sure you bring great. I do think it's very true. You do stand on the shoulders of those before you, but I think Steve and Gale, they stand on the shoulders of all of us in this room, and all of us that will be there tomorrow, and for every day forward for them. And I think that's something important they need to remember. So then the last thing I'm going to say is tomorrow too, it's not just about Steve and Gale. We know that. It's about 2 families coming together, and that's really what makes this amazing. So, any good Irish toast? But I decided tonight This Irish toast goes a little something like this. It says, when you drink, you get drunk. When you get drunk, you sleep. And we all know how that goes. Right? When you sleep, you don't sin. You surely don't sin. And when you don't sin, you go to heaven. So let's all get drunk.